Well, hello, Denton. This is Jake Laughlin bringing you another episode of Discover Denton, the show brought to you by the Convention and Visitors Bureau, highlighting events around Denton. Now, last week we had our very first episode, and I wanted to say thank you for the incredible response. That was great. We really appreciate it. This week, we have Kim Phillips of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, CVB, along with Mayor Pro Tem Pete Camp, talking about the Teos Storytelling Festival, 35 Denton, and Denton Radio on the Square. Let's hear it.
Good afternoon, DentonRadio.com. Today, we have Pete Camp here. She's going to talk with us a little bit about what's going on this week in Denton. Pete is City Council member for the City of Denton, Mayor Pro Tem, and Pete is a huge supporter of the vibrant arts culture here in Denton, especially the music scene. In fact, Pete has been engaged and instrumental in the revitalization of downtown Denton and the evolution of what we now all know as the entertainment district. Thanks for being here today, Pete.
Thank you, Kim. It's my pleasure being here.
It's going to be a huge week in Denton this week, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness, it absolutely is. I mean, this is so exciting. The vibrancy of what is going on in all of Denton is exciting, but especially this weekend with both 35 Denton and with the storytelling for those who may not want to participate in the music scene. It is so exciting for all of us and our visitors to the city of Denton.
And visitors is huge. Of course, as the Convention and Visitors Bureau, we are always trying to wrap our arms around the visitors that are coming into town. And 35 Denton has proven itself over, 6 years?
It's 5 years now.
5?
Yes, and I have been involved since the very beginning in Denton. I didn't participate. Chris Flemons, of course, is the founder of the festival. And it was after South by Southwest in Austin, and he moved to Denton with all the Denton bands and started 5 years ago. And Chris is a good friend, and I've supported him since, and we've gone through some different evolutions with the city and the city staff, and they are embracing, our city embraces this festival. We know what kind of economic driver that it is.
It sure is.
It brings tens of thousands of visitors to our city. And these are additional visitors. These are not necessarily the people who want to go to Art and Jazz Fest to listen to jazz. It's a different music genre, and it belongs in Denton, and it belongs in downtown Denton. And it just gets successful every year, more and more so.
Perfectly said. And I know that 35 Denton brings bands from all over the world.
All over the world, yes.
And with that, media from all over the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Kim. We have, I think it started about 2 or 3 years ago, we started looking around, realizing that there were people from the media from England and Scotland and so many different other places. And since then, it's gotten more and more so.
Oh, yeah. I think I ran into somebody from Australia last year that was covering, because, a lot of Denton bands that are here, we know them, and we're used to them. Think about like Midlake and
Absolutely.
Sarah Jaffe and some of these, and we're like, Sarah's home and going to do a concert down at Dan's, but then we find out, wow, she's like this international celebrity, and Midlake, they go to
people,
Europe, and they're like the Beatles over there, and
exactly
that kind of thing.
Bowling for Soup,
exactly,
Baptist
another
Generals.
great example.
These people are so well known, but you're right, we see them every day because they're members of our community, and they play all the time in our community.
And we sometimes forget.
We do.
But a real key part of Denton is the music scene that's here all the time, and
Absolutely.
It's giving a footing to new artists. It's breeding new talent, and we're literally launching new musical careers daily through here.
We are.
And I think DentonRadio.com, while it's still somewhat in its infancy, just a little under 2 years old, but it's really become the platform for showcasing some of this brand new talent that's coming out in
Absolutely. And it's so exciting that DentonRadio.com is going to be at the event for the first time this year and on the courthouse lawn, the heart of our community, and be able to give that venue to some of our local bands who wouldn't necessarily be playing inside of 35 Denton.
Exactly.
But to give them that opportunity and the publicity and the experience just goes with everything that we are about being a music town and being Denton.
It really does. And we've thought a lot about the fact that you've got all this media here from all over the world, and they're actually, 35 Denton speaks for itself. But one of our goals from the Convention and Visitors Bureau standpoint is to say, you know what, the music scene is such a part of, literally an integral part of how we talk about ourselves in the world out there. DentonRadio.com gives us the way to deliver that music scene day in, day out, 365 days a year. And then the event on the square, which it's great because 35 Denton is saying, yes, showcase some of those bands for us. We've got them out there where the media can say, wow, look at what's going on here. It's not just the 35 Denton grand scale, but you've got every genre and every level of musician going on and finding their careers, finding their launch pads right here in Denton, Texas.
Absolutely. And I think that with DentonRadio.com, you will actually reach even a larger audience of people who maybe wouldn't come to the event, but when they start listening to some of the music that you're showcasing, that they will enjoy it and see what the venue is about that much more.
I agree. And once these, one of the beautiful things about DentonRadio.com is that you allow our local artists to find audiences, and you allow audiences to find artists they wouldn't even have known were there, because there is so much talent brewing here all the time.
It is amazing.
It's hard to keep your finger on everything that's going on. It's happening so fast.
Denton is an incubator for the talent and the culture and the musicians.
It really is.
We want them to stay here. We want them to live here and to be able to make a living at what they're doing in their art. We want them to be able to make a living.
Exactly, and that is what we're all about too, is connecting those things and then getting them into our live music venues and bringing more and more business to the venues, which becomes that economic driver that you're talking about with the city.
Absolutely.
So, Pete, I really appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Thank you so much, Kim. We always have so much to talk about.
We do.
I would just like to encourage people to come out, see what 35 Denton is about, enjoy the music, enjoy the culture. The people watching is absolutely fantastic. And, of course, there are venues at the local clubs and restaurants also. So it's going to be an exciting 4 days in Denton.
It is. It's going to be a really great time. And stop by. We think of the courthouse lawn as kind of being the living room of the community.
Absolutely.
That's the heart and soul of where we emanate from. And everything is happening downtown. Storytelling, a few blocks away, 35 Denton. And right there on the square, DentonRadio.com is going to turn on the stereo in the living room, and we hope you'll stop by and check out some tunes.
I'm going to come. I'm going to bring an overstuffed chair and just stay.
Perfect. I love it. Thanks again, Pete, for being here, and thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you, Kim.
And there you have it. That was this week's episode of Discover Denton. A big thanks to Kim Phillips of the CVB and Mayor Pro Tem Pete Camp. I'm Jake Laughlin, your host. Make sure you join us next week, where we will be bringing you more highlights of our original and independent city. And in the meantime, go enjoy Denton.